Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Keo Daiken. Give me a few minutes to get set up here. This is a impromptu video. Just wanted to go live for a few minutes and discuss a few issues that I'm having with this bass. I'm not sure if anybody else has done a review on this, but wanted to kind of get the word out for those of you currently downloading or having issues of your own, so that way we can address it together. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be going live for, but we'll get through this together. Just give me a few minutes to share the link and we will be out dealing with this as of right now. All right. And I'm not monitoring the chat. In fact, let me let me go over to the chat, see if I can see it really quick. I gotta change my volume. In the chat, in fact, let me. Hope everybody's having a good evening. All right, I can see the chat now, so we're all good. And apologize for the camera angle, but again, this is just really impromptu. I wanted to show you a few things so you can see it. And why isn't my link pulling up? All right, screw it. I'll just do this the old-fashioned way. Wait for a few more people to jump on. Then we will get started here. Got 4 people watching. Awesome. Okay. I hope you guys are having a good evening. So earlier today, I did a review for Schmoomers 256 image. You guys know Schmoomer. He's on Arcade Punks. He's listed there, whatnot. He does some decent work. You know, he puts out a lot of good graphics and whatnot. And so the purpose of this video is to just obviously, number one, talk about the image. Number two, talk about the bass. And primarily, I know a lot of times when we say image or bass, we get our words mixed up. And so what happens is, in this particular situation, I don't want the image maker to get blamed for some of the things that may be going on with this bass. I've tried troubleshooting this for the past couple hours. And so initially, I've noticed there have been a few things going on with this particular, we'll say, bass, because the image maker typically adds the ROMs and a few other things, artwork and stuff, but really has no control over how the inner workings of the bass is working. So I was playing with this a little while ago, and I switched this over to a track mode, and then I switched back to Emulationstation. And after I did that, I haven't had any sound. And so I've talked to a few guys. I guess they never switched over from an Emulationstation to a track mode. That actually kind of caught me by surprise because, you know, like personally, I test a lot of stuff out before I even send out an image or work on a build or whatnot. But in addition to that, I wanted to give you guys a heads up that this Marquee script is doing quite a few things that honestly it shouldn't be doing. So for example, it's showing text on the Marquee, and I don't know why that is the cause of it. So I'm going to walk you guys through a few things right now. And at first, I honestly thought that it was my TV or my capture card. So that's the reason why I'm recording this from my webcam. I'm not going through my capture card because I know sometimes that could be an issue, but I mean, that hardly ever happens. So I'm shooting this from my webcam. And so I want to show you what's going on with me. And so hopefully if you guys are considering using this bass, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So as you can see, my TV is at 35 right now. It's at 47. The volume is all the way up. In fact, I'll switch over to my direct TV so you guys can see it.
Time has lost 3 games in a row while the Kings haven't played a game since last Thursday night. The Ducks lead the series 72-52 with 11 overtime losses and 16.
All right, so the TV volume is up. I've adjusted all the sounds on Retropie. I have no idea what's causing this to malfunction or whatever the issue might be. But let's take a look at a few things. Now here, when I am in playing a game, we're actually going down the menu, you do see the marquee pop up. It is showing, it is displaying. So let's go ahead and start a game really quick. And I mentioned this to Scott earlier that for whatever reason, obviously when you have the second display plugged in, there are no video loading screens. But ever since I switched over to a track mode and then switched back, none of his video loading screens or actually the splash screens will pop up whatsoever. So I honestly don't know what's causing it. I'm not sure if there's a glitch somewhere in the base. All right, so now we have sounds there. I'm gonna back out. Quit. But as you can see, I have no music. I have no music or anything on the snaps. I don't have sound either way. But however, if I turn the system off and then turn it back on, which I'll do right now, and then what I'll do is I'll boot over to a track mode. So let's go ahead and restart the system.
Game over, man. Game over.
All right, so that's the sound that it makes when you shut it down. It's a nice little touch. And my Pi is rebooting. Hey, Adam, what's going on? Hope you're safe and healthy. Yeah, things like a Nesby or Argon case quirks, but people blame the image. It's very true. That's very true. In fact, like Blake, if you've watched my Keeldike in 2021 video, I made mention of a lot of that. There's been so many different hurdles and stuff with there's this video marquee script is playing. There's been so many issues with EEPROM updates because you could have the wrong EEPROM update and cause a debacle on your system. You could have obviously use the Nesby case. That could be another hindrance. So Blake, no, it's not. It's starting up, but see. So as you see, there were no splash videos right there. I booted straight up into Emulationstation earlier. There was a splash video that he did add. They did add another screen on there too that actually bypassed the Emulationstation loading screen, but there's been nothing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to a track mode, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at it. Let's see here. Got to find the option menu. Now I haven't updated. I never update. I haven't touched anything. So let's go over and switch to a track mode. So the sound will work in a track mode. It was working earlier, and then when I switched back to Emulationstation, it stopped working. But all in all, I just wanted to make sure that you guys are aware that this is not anything on the image maker's part. It's something that the devs for the base needs to correct. And or maybe adjust. Maybe they do have some updates for this eventually, but the number of bases that I've seen or betas, I've never encountered this issue. Yeah, there's no audio at all. Okay, so when I switched to a track mode, it's there. It was working fine earlier. So there's the sound there. I'll turn it down just a little bit. Yeah, I even messed around with that setting as far as turning the audio. I turned it back on automatically, and that still didn't fix it. I even went on the option to adjust the pulse drivers. That didn't fix it, but switching back and forth from a track mode to Emulationstation shouldn't cause this problem. All right, now if you pay attention to the lower right-hand corner of your screen, you can see the marquee. You see that text there that's on top of the marquee. Now, originally I had this hooked up to my 65-inch TV, and I thought, well, maybe because I have it hooked up to my TV and the marquee is not fully up the screen, maybe that's why that text is there. This should not be happening with the Pi marquee script, where you have text either playing right behind the video marquee screen, or that shouldn't happen at all. Secondly, the marquee is supposed to fill up the marquee. That's a 14:9 marquee. That right there that you're looking at, that should not be. So let's go ahead and play a game. We'll pull something up really quick. We'll go to our, oops. Now you see that text. So this Marquee set, now again, this has nothing to do with Schmoomer and his image. This is basically the base. I talked to him. He said he hasn't messed around with this. And so this is something going on with the base image. So let's go ahead and pull up Arcade. So even in this case, if the Marquee script was taking up the full screen, you wouldn't even see that. So I guess when they were working on this, maybe they didn't properly format it. Here, let me get out of here. No, we don't want to exit out just yet. Okay, let's go to Arcade. All right, so let's pull up this. So you see you have a bunch of running commands running behind the script, running behind the PNG that's supposed to be there. And honestly, that shouldn't be. Yeah, I can't get the audio to come on in Emulationstation at all. I mean, fortunately, the game still worked, but usually your video snaps, and I had the music playing earlier, so this was not something that the image maker or the devs, hey, like this is default or whatnot. No, this is something that's just not working, or there's something going on with this. Okay, so it's not happening during the game. It's only happening during the menus. So let's go ahead and back out here. So as you can see, the Marquee is not taking up the full screen there. You have the PNG. I wish it was properly formatted. So when you have your Marquee, you guys can reference my other videos. It should take up the entire screen. So I've always had problems with the track mode. Anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up because I know there's so many images out there, and this one's 256. Some of you guys may be interested in changing, and I didn't want you guys to know that you were the only ones frustrated out there, like with these issues. So let's go ahead and we'll back out. Let's take a look at another game. And as you can see, you have all those commands on the right on the Marquee running in the background. That shouldn't be. Again, so... let's take a look. Let me back up one. I really hate the control formats in the track mode, and I haven't had a chance. The cool thing is with this image, the controls from Emulationstation automatically move over to a track mode, so that's a nice little touch. Just my only little pet peeve is typically you don't want to have the Marquee running without an option to turn it on and off. Due to performance issues and stuff. So even if you don't have the second monitor plugged in, it is running. I mean, it is there and it is in the background. You just can't see it. Let's go ahead and pull up consoles. Let's see what I have here for... We'll pull up Sony PlayStation. Now, I know that Schmoomer, he does have video loading screens for all the systems, but they won't display if you have the Marquee hooked up or even have a second monitor hooked up. So let's go ahead and take a look. And as you can see, you have all those commands running in the background. The Marquee's not even taking up the full Marquee. So that's going to be an issue there in the future for anybody trying to build an arcade unit and wondering if it's you or if you didn't have the right size screen. So all that has to be properly formatted again. But honestly, I don't think the display resolution for the Marquee is properly set. It has nothing to do with the image because I've taken a non-formatted image, put it on the Pi Marquee script, and it still filled up the entire screen. So all that has to do with the scripting for the video output resolution for the second display. All right. Well, let me back out here. I'm having some issues with the controls. And don't know what this is. So I went to Sony. I can't remember. He does have Sony PlayStation on here. But for whatever reason. It was not showing up. All right, so we have Sega Genesis. Let's go ahead and pull that up. So I've only played with this image for about a good maybe 2.5 hours. I usually let it set for a little bit, played around with it. But again, it was all kind of working fine up until I switched to a track mode and then tried to switch back. But even now, I still don't have music playing in the background, which I did have earlier. So, all right. All right, so we do have sound from the game, which is a cool thing. I'll turn it up so you guys can hear it. Okay, so let's back out. All right, so I'm going to jump back over to Emulationstation now. I hope you guys have seen enough of that. I don't know to play directly or else I would have messaged them. So you do have the little click sounds. Those work, as you guys can hear it. All right, so let's go ahead and bounce back out. We'll go to Emulationstation and kind of wrap things up here a little bit. Yeah, that's Soldier. That's kind of why I wanted to reach out to. I decided to go ahead and do this because you have a lot of new bases that come out, images, and what happens is, in this case, the Marquee script that was made by the Supreme team. There have been some modifications, changed or added to this, and so what happens is you have there's a lot of images coming out, and what happens is. People start downloading something thinking that's how it'll work. And what is this thing doing now? Please don't go to Cody. I'm trying to... Oh my god, what the heck is this? I didn't even launch that. Let me get out of here. Okay. Is this thing stuck? No, not exit. No, I don't want to exit. Okay, I just want to get out of here. So let me hurry up and get out of here. All right, finally. I couldn't even navigate around. So we're going to go over here. The other thing is, too, this doesn't... Let me see. What is that? Pi base? Okay. I don't think it clearly indicates that if you want to switch front ends there, but it's properly displayed on Emulationstation side. But Soldier Boy, I download just the base and was broken. I used the updater on the build itself. No, now games don't work. Yeah, somebody else mentioned that to me. But I don't have this plugged into the internet at all or anything, but so I haven't done any updates. In fact, I never update any images. I don't find it useful unless somebody's offering you something great. And then even at that, it's probably not even worth it. So as you can see, you do have the video Marquee script intro playing down here on the bottom right. But as you see now, there is no splash videos playing on the TV. All right, so here we are back in Emulationstation. We have no music playing. I adjusted all the sounds. So if any of you guys know the devs, you can show them this video. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up because I know I posted a video earlier and everything was working fine, even though I had the sound turned down. Wasn't there one base that did an internet check at boot or was just a rumor? I think from what I was told, because I've never really used their image, I think VMan's base or image had something like that where it would check the internet. I'm not positively sure on that. That's just what I've been told. So let's go pick up Nintendo. But the cool thing is when you do go to the emulation station side and you're navigating the games, you do get the PNG for the most part, as you see down here on the bottom right, for a lot of the games. Obviously, all of them aren't displayed. And you don't get the weird command text in the back. But so those would just be my personal recommendations to the PlayBox team to erase or remove the commands, or actually make the PNG resolution a lot bigger so you don't have to see the commands running in the background. So those would just be my couple of suggestions there. Or if you install PyCris or PyAbs, they add one. Yeah, I'm not adding anything to this, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Oh, here, let me fix the focus. Okay, I just wanted to quickly launch that so you guys can see it. So all in all, if you guys have any questions about the base, if you have any other issues or concerns, I think those will be properly addressed to the Playbox team and not Schmoomers, because he was just the image maker. So of course he loaded the ROMs, the artwork, and everything else. But it's really hard for image makers if you don't really know the devs or understand their base. You can't really troubleshoot a lot of things and fix them if there are some issues. And so that's why for myself, I've worked a lot with Supreme stuff, because I have a understanding of the base and everything that they've made changes to. So that way, when you guys have questions or I do a tutorial, I can actually speak to accuracy versus somebody else's work. The builds that the guy makes are sweet, but this base is broke. Yeah, and again, that's all I've done. I haven't manipulated anything. Again, if anybody was watching or you had some input as far as what I could possibly change right now that would fix it, I would be more than happy to do so. So I'm going to turn the volume up. Right now, the volume is up on my TV at about 16. System tools. I went to audio settings. I adjusted a few of these and nothing worked. You know what? Let me check this and see if this works. Let's see. Let's do reset to default. I've done auto. I've done enable pulse. So let's reset to default and let's see if that actually fixes anything. No, it's not doing anything whatsoever. Okay. Well, all right. So let's see. Music on or off. Let me see if this is. See, now if you look at the top of my screen there, it said music disabled. So let me turn it back on. It said background music enabled. So now I just turned it back on, but even though the music isn't working whatsoever. So yeah, who knows? Maybe when they made some adjustments to the Marquee script and added a few things that maybe it interfered with some of his other scripts. I do know. I mean, with Retropie, it's one of those things to where you can input one small command, it can mess up everything else. But again, there's really no excuse when there's plenty of Retropie images and bases out. There's no need to rush anything or put something out unless you've had a chance to fully test it. So can't give anybody credit for that. I mean, there's plenty of time to test and recheck. And I would hope that people who are familiar with this base have at least had the opportunity to do the same basic stuff that I did, which was load it from Emulationstation, switch over to a track, and then switch back and then see what would happen. Okay. All right. If there's anybody have any questions, concerns, if you guys wanted to share this video, let me see here. There's somebody commenting. All right. Okay, I got some other videos and projects I'll be working on. You guys stay in touch. Make sure you hit the notification bell because I know a lot of times that YouTube doesn't notify people of certain videos and stuff. But yeah, hopefully you guys get the word out if you have any questions. But yeah, he did some good work on this build, but unfortunately, there's some things here that definitely needs to be fixed. Hey, Tono, thanks for watching, man. You appreciate it. So as you see there on the bottom right, where my marquee is, there are no commands there. So that issue just appears to be on the attract mode side, but that shouldn't happen either. But okay, you guys have a good night. I'll probably be on later. Talk to you later. Peace.